think we're actually live, Gary Ainley.
Do you think so?
I think so. Good afternoon, everybody. So it's Bev Flanagan from Mind Your Assets Accounts here and Gary Ainley from Expert Collections. So just a couple of things first. If you keep seeing me looking to the side, it's just because I've got my laptop open because I want to see the comments. So if you're watching this live, you know the score. Pop your name in the comments below. Tell us where you're watching from, as in location, and whether you're watching it on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or LinkedIn. And if you're watching back after the event, if you could just drop us a hashtag replay. So the purpose of this live is, we know a lot of business owners, myself and Gary, and I'm an accountant, as you know, and we always see a lot of clients that sometimes when they come on board with us that all the customers are always paying them late. They're always trying to juggle cash all the time, and it gets a bit tedious for them, and it gets like, they have sleepless nights. They don't know what to do, and they feel a bit stuck and a bit stressed. So we've got the expert on today, Gary. Gary's going to be talking to us all about, a few things really, like the importance of having a credit control system, terms and conditions, and how he can help you improve the cash flow in your business so you're not always paid last. So we've got Paul Hilton saying hello, and he's on Facebook, and he's South Normanton. Is it raining where you are, Paul? It's chucking it down here in Sheffield.
Chucking it down here as well in Clackeaton.
Is it? I think that's summer over then, isn't it?
Done with. Speedos away now.
What? Have you got Speedos on right now?
No. Jesus, you want some people watching, don't you?
I don't trust you, Gary. Yeah, we've got a few people. There's only one person that's saying hello so far. So come on, don't be shy. Tell us where you are. So like I said, I'm Bev Flanagan, company's Mind Your Assets Accounts, been an accountant for a long time, long time. I'm really sorry that I'm in my new office and I've not painted my background yet. It's not purple yet, but it's coming. I don't do blue. As you know, I'm a purple girl. I don't know why my face looks a bit white. Need to sort my camera out. And I'm not sure if I've mentioned this yet, but I am actually Yorkshire Accountant of the Year.
When did you've won an award?
Did I not tell everybody that I'm Yorkshire Accountant of the Year 2021?
No, I didn't know about that.
Paul says, yeah, it's chucking it down. No window cleaning today. Oh, well, you can watch this live and get loads of stuff and tips. Go on then, Gary, introduce yourself.
Afternoon, everyone. I'm Gary at Expert Collections, your zero-cost commercial debt recovery specialist. As Bev's mentioned, we're here to sort of help give a few tips on credit control, terms and conditions, and any sort of other advice and questions that you might have. So don't be shy. I know I look a bit grim on here, but I'll answer as many questions as I can, and we'll give you some advice, because at the end of the day, you've done your work. You should be paid. Simple as that. Get yourself to the front of the queue. So ready to go, Bev, whenever you are.
Definitely, yeah. And like you just said there, if you have got any questions that you're struggling with getting your cash in or anything like that at the minute, any credit control issues or anything like that, pop them in the comment section below, and Gary can answer them while we're on this live. While we've got him here, let's use him. So first of all, Gary, I just wanted to say there's not that many businesses that actually have an active, an accurate credit control system. And a lot of people might go, what are you on about, Bev? What's a credit control system? So do you want to explain a little bit what one of them is and how that benefits companies?
Certainly do, yeah. To have an active credit control system, as Bev says, a lot of people go, what the hell are you on about? But it's very important that once you raise your invoice, you've then got something in place so you can chase it, be it remotely through like Xero, QuickBooks, or on top of that, also having a telephone system in your own office that will allow you to make sure that not only are you sending reminders on a basis of, say, every 7 or 14 days, but you're actually then following it up with phone calls, because we tend to find that in the modern world we live in, emails are fine, but as we know, don't like that, bin. That's the problem. But if you're on the telephone ringing people, you can get a far better, quicker answer than, oh, never got your email, my emails were down or whatever. That's the problem. But I think that the vital importance now in today's society more than ever is that you'll only get paid if you shout loudest and if you've got a system in place. And an average credit control system, say on a 30-day account, you're around 75 days before that process is finished. You probably had a first demand, phone calls, second demand, final demand, and over sort of a period of about 6 weeks or so, you tend to find that you've come to the end of the line. You're thinking, oh, they still haven't paid me. What am I going to do now? Oh, I know. I'll give them a deadline, and then I won't ring them. And then in a week's time, I'll go, oh, they haven't paid me. I wonder why that is. That's because you haven't got a system in place. So once you've got your credit control system in place, make sure then that you then stick to deadlines that you set on your correspondence. There's no point saying, I'll pay you by the end of the month, and you go, yeah, that's fine. But if you don't pay by the end of the month, I'm going to take action. And then on the first of the month, they haven't paid you, and then you ring up. Why the hell would you ring up when you've told somebody what you're going to do? It's far more important to stick to what you're wanting out of your business, your rules, your game. They pay you when you want them to. And obviously, if they haven't paid and you take the action, that's when we can then help from a debt collection point of view.
Yeah, you're totally right, because people will just not take you serious, will they? If you go, oh, can you pay me by Friday? Friday comes, Friday goes, Monday comes. Oh, you haven't paid me yet. Oh, can I pay you by next Friday? Yeah, go on then. And it's just a vicious circle, and it makes you look a little bit, I don't want to sound harsh, but it makes you look a little bit weak, doesn't it? And it's like, why are you in business if you're not going to collect your cash? You've already done the work. You've already paid, like if you're a construction company, for example, all your lads and your materials. You're not a bank. So why should people not pay you on time? And I suppose that goes hand in hand with like terms and conditions as well, that you'll probably see that people don't have them in place. So they've not really got a leg to stand on, have they, if they've not got terms and conditions?
No, we sometimes often get to the end of the line, and they might have done their credit control procedure. They've come to us and they've said, they haven't paid. And we're saying, look, in our opinion, the only way that this is going to get sorted out is by issuing some form of legal proceedings. So we then say, can you confirm the business entity that you've dealt with? And they'll be like going, what the hell are you on about? Business entity? I've dealt with Dave for years. The problem is with that is everybody knows a Dave, but the problem is it Dave's Plumbing and Heating Supplies Limited, or is it Dave a sole trader? Because if it's a sole trader and the limited company are two different entities, people need to understand that there's different actions you can take against different people. Part of your terms and conditions, vital. Point number one is find out who the hell you're dealing with at the beginning, because it saves so much time and effort at the end. Just probably not even 20 minutes at the beginning. Fill an account application form in, or even on an email, just say, can you confirm the business entity? Is it a limited company? If it is, what's your company reg number? Is it a sole trader or a partnership? Because sole traders and partnerships, you can go after each individual partner of the business, even if that company doesn't trade anymore. Whereas, as we know, with a limited company, if it's gone, and that's the end of it. So that's point number one in your terms and conditions. Point number two, dictate your position regarding what you expect on payment. Now, construction, as we know, can be a nightmare. And the amount of people I speak to that I'll say, well, I'm owed 20 grand. I'll say, okay, that's fine. I'll say, what kind of deposit did you take? And they go, oh, I didn't take a deposit. So you supplied a load of, let's say, kitchen gear, and you didn't take a deposit? No. Have you fitted it all? Yeah. Are they now moaning? Well, they're just ignoring me. Well, they're going to do, because you can't go back in and rip it out as much as you probably want to. And that's the problem. If you're saying, I want 50% up front, I want a stage payment, and then at the end, you leave a small, say, 10% for sort of issues of, well, I'm not quite happy how that door's hanging or whatever. It just means that you're not opening yourself up to getting to the end of the line, having a load of cash outstanding, and then going, oh, sorry, I'm not interested in paying you anymore.
Do you know what I see? I know you'll see this more than me probably, but like if you're a smaller company, they're a little bit scared of implementing terms and conditions if it's a larger contractor. Again, I know I'm specifically talking about construction clients, because we do have a lot of construction clients. But like that's rubbish, isn't it? Like, it's your business, it's your rules. They're working with you for a reason, because they trust you, they know your work, they want to work with you. So what tips or recommendations do you suggest on that? Like, say if like I'm a subcontractor and I contract to you, Gary, and like my terms are 30 days, for example, with a deposit, but then this larger contractor says, we don't work like that, we work on 60 days, we're not paying you till 60 days. What would you say to them, the people in that situation?
Well, you would look at the thing first of all and think, it's okay saying that the larger construction companies will pay you on 60 days. You'll be bloody lucky if they don't pay you on 120, never mind 60. So you've got to consider two options. One, do you stand your ground and say, I'm sorry, this is how I operate? So you either accept my terms or you go away. Or if you are going to accept extended terms, build something into your price that allows you sort of an extra bit of a premium unbeknown to the end user, so that if they are going to take another 60 days, maybe charge them another £1,000 on the job. So at least when you do pay, you've got a bit more for waiting without really them knowing. But at the end of the day, you've got to consider your business and your terms. I mean, in our office, it's quite a standard joke that we mention terms and conditions. I go down to Aston Martin every Saturday morning and say, I won lottery this week, but that 200 grand Aston Martin there, I give you 20 quid a month cash on the button without fail. Every Friday, I consider what I'm going to say. Every Saturday morning at 12 o'clock, they go, get out. It's not happening. Those are not our terms. And it might seem a bit extreme, but you're wanting a product from somebody, you should accept their terms. And if you're going to set your terms and be rigid with it, and people that don't get this kind of problem, good on you. But if you're not, you're going to wing it. And I'm afraid you're going to suffer loss, because it's always going to happen that the big boys are going to go, well, we're a massive PLC. We turn over 50 million quid a year. He's a one-man band who does kitchens. What's he going to do? He can't take us on. Yeah. And that's the problem. They don't feel comfortable about taking them on, but they're all happy to work for these big companies. Please, before you start working for the big companies, get your T's and C's in place. If they're not going to sign them, you might be a bit annoyed and think, well, I lost that 20 grand job. But at least you'll know if you do 20 grand of other work, you'll probably get paid on time rather than having to wait forever and a day. So be brave about it and stick to your terms. It's as simple as that.
Definitely, yeah. And another analogy is like, gonna shop, innit? Getting your food from Tesco, Morrison's, or whatever. You got to tell I pay next week.
Don't you?
Well, now I'm Yorkshire Accountant of the Year. It's Marks and Spencer's, but yeah. But did I tell you about Yorkshire Accountant of the Year?
You didn't know.
No?
When did it happen?
Let's see how many times I can say it in this live.
Yeah, go on.
But no, seriously though, it's your business, it's your livelihood, and especially like you just said, if you miss out on that job, you're not really, because if they're not playing ball with you and on your terms and conditions, you'll be more than that down, because you'll have already paid out physical cash, and who's got money in the business just to chuck away like that? So yeah, please get some terms and conditions and stick to them, like Gary said. Otherwise, it just makes you look a little bit weak. And I don't mean that disrespectful. It's just that people that'll just walk all over you. And like Gary said at the beginning, it's the ones that shout the loudest, unfortunately, in this day and age, that that get the cash in. But it's what you've got to do in these times, isn't it? Really, but yeah,
it's going to get worse. Next couple of weeks as furlough ends, all these people all of a sudden are then going to go, I've got all my staff back. That's great. We've got a team back together. But then they go, oh shit, I need 20,000 quid to pay the wages that currently for the last 18 months I've not been paying.
Getting it back off government.
Right, what am I going to do now? Oh, I know. I won't pay these suppliers that are not shouting loud. I'll just pay my staff to keep them happy.
Yeah.
It's only going to get worse, and it will. I know it's a bit of a doom and gloom, but it's a fact that people are going to be considering paying the staff or paying the suppliers.
Yeah.
If you've supplied your goods and you're 60 and 90 days down the line, get on with it, because if not, what's going to happen is they're going to pay the staff and then say, well, we haven't got it. We'll give you 100 quid a week on 10 grand. That's no good. Get your money and get out. So
you're definitely right. It's definitely going to change, isn't it, in the next few weeks when furlough ends at the end of this month. We're having an end of furlough party, me and my payroll manager, Beth. I think we're going to have an end of furlough party. I might go to TGI's or something like that. If she's watching, Beth, we're going to TGI's. Although she shouldn't be watching, she should be doing payroll.
You're working, yeah. Exactly.
So yeah, it's them deadlines, isn't it, that you've got to stick to, and your terms and conditions. It's just so crucial, isn't it? And it just fascinates me why people don't do it. But then, like I've said, I just know because people get a little bit scared. And you know what I've heard before, like people, oh, it's all right, yeah, they're big, they'll pay me eventually, and they won't work with me again if I don't let them pay me on their terms. What do you mean? They've not paid you already, so what are you bothered about your next job for with them? If they're not paying you on this one, they're going to do the same on next one.
Contractors halfway through a job will get little bits of payments to keep them on the job, and then they'll get to a point where they're not going to pay them anymore when the work's surprisingly nearly finished, and then they go, right, well, you're not going to pay me, I'm going to walk off site, and then they go to the 17,000-page contract and go, well, you can't do that on subsection paragraph 5. We're gonna take $5,000 off you. And before you know it, you're in a massive argument on a contract you didn't even know probably existed because your terms weren't in place, and then they're just going to not pay you. It happens all the time.
So going back, I know that you spoke about entities. So if someone's like got a contract with Dodgy Dave, like you said earlier, and there's quite a few Dodgy Dave accountants as well, but say that we found out that he was a sole trader and I didn't have any terms and conditions in place, am I, excuse my French, buggered then in that situation, or what? If they owe me money?
I mean, if he's a sole trader and that business, let's say, Dave's Plumbing has stopped trading and is now doing Dave's Kitchens, you can still go after Dave's Plumbing because he is personally responsible for the debts. Unless he enters into some sort of formal insolvency, bankruptcy, IVA, then he's still liable for the debt. Whereas, as we said, a limited company, liquidators, bang, all bets are off, and then shock horror, they start again the following day under a new, slightly different entity, but legally it's a new company and the two are separate. So,
but when you're chasing these debts, though, does it make your job harder if there isn't any terms and conditions that you can refer to?
Yeah, massively, because we can then, if we're getting somebody playing the game, which believe me they do, oh well, I've agreed this, I've agreed that. We say, well, you agreed to our client's terms and conditions, and our client's terms and conditions say 30 days net monthly. So I don't care about your paying on 90 days. You signed to the terms, or you pay a deposit, you haven't paid. Therefore, if you don't pay the next stage, it all becomes due. It's all dotting the I's and crossing the T's, because all that's going to happen is you're going to end up with an argument that's going to delay. And if it does go to court and you get the wrong district judge on the day, even though your terms and conditions might be okay, if you've not got them exactly cock on, you're probably going to lose. And then you're going to have a situation where you've lost the money, you've spent money on time and issuing legal proceedings, you've had to have a day out at court. Your $5,000 debt might have cost you $7,000 and you ain't going to get it. Yeah. Whereas if you've got something in place, it's not guaranteed, but it'll give you a damn sight better chance of sorting it out. Definitely.
So anybody that's watching this right now or on replay later that are thinking, bloody hell, I've got somebody that owes me money. Like, you need to be taking action now. Do everything that Gary said so that you don't get into that trap where you're going to be stuck and you're going to be in a situation where you can't claim it back, and or you're going to struggle to get it back. And you don't want that. None of us wants that. If you've done the work, you need paying. What is, I'm just making this up off the top of my head, what is the most ridiculous excuse? And you didn't even know I'm going to ask you this, so I might have to give you 10 seconds to think about it. What's the most ridiculous excuse that you've had from somebody when you've been chasing a debt for non-payment?
For non-payment? We had a while ago. It wasn't a large amount either. We had a woman, and one week she'd had a purse nicked, other week on way to pay money into the bank. Every week she had a purse nicked? No. Week 1 she did. Then week 2, when she weren't late with payment, we said, you've not paid. They go, oh, well, I was going to the bank, but my dog had to go to the vets. And it was just like every single week in, week out. But the current excuse at the moment, and obviously we know it's around and has been around, but, COVID, we're in a pandemic.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, but 2 months ago, you asked my client to do $5,000 worth of work. We were still in a pandemic then, weren't we? You can't have your cake and eat in it, but it's just, the excuses are there, and if you don't act on them. I mean,
that is a bit rubbish, though. Your purse has been nicked. That's like a bit of a pants excuse.
Exactly.
What is the most unusual thing that you've had to chase for?
The most unusual thing, right?
You've told me this before, I think. Let's see if you said the same thing as what you said last time.
Is it what I'm going to say? Right. Okay. We had a client who was abroad in the Caribbean, and a guy had got a ring for his girlfriend, and then came home and said, I'm not happy with this ring. Can you send me another one? And they foolishly did. And he said, I'll return the other one. And guess what? He didn't return it. So we were asked to chase the balance of the account because he had 2 engagement rings it was a sizable amount of money, shall we say. But we managed to sort it out, and he paid it because I think we later found out, I think there were no wrong with the ring, and obviously he tried to get 2 for 1.
Just trying to scam it. Well, I've not heard that story before from you. The other one I was thinking about, didn't you tell us once about dog beer?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we had a client that did beer for dogs, yeah. So we were ringing sort of like pet shops and stuff like that, and they'd be like, we're ringing up about, our client. I think it would call something like Woof Dog Beer or whatever. It was actually literally beer for dogs. I mean, strange, but everybody's got a need, and we still see now. I think there's a company now that supply. I think it's, did they call it Pinot Grigio for dogs or something like that? Mental. Absolutely mad, but
well, yeah, like you said, people buy out these days, won't they?
They will.
So, just if somebody is at a loose end now, then, and they have got money outstanding, and they do need a debt recovery company like yourself to help them chase them, what reassurance can you give them to say, look, they're in good hands, and it's not scary? It does sound scary. It's a debt recovery agency or whatever terminology you use. It's not, is it really?
Well, not really. So, I mean, if you're in a pub with a group of people, and you say, what do you do for a job? And they'll be like, oh, I'm an accountant, I'm a bank manager.
And then they'll go, if you say you're an accountant, they'll go, oh.
They'll go, yeah, and you're asleep then, even if they are accountant of the year or whatever.
Yorkshire accountant of the year, yeah.
But you get to debt recovery, debt collector, and they're off. They've done one because everybody thinks lock, stock, and 2 smoking barrels, Vinnie Jones, gun in boot, baseball bat. It's not like that anymore. It's all regulated.
Anymore? Is that what it used to be then?
Well, used to be. Well, I know I don't look old enough, but 35 years ago when I started, it was a different scenario.
Yeah.
But I just think that the image of commercial debt recovery sometimes, like all industries, does have a bad name. But at the end of the day, I've done this job for 35 years, and sort of in this industry, we're well known. There's a lot of respect for what we do. We treat your money as if it's our money because we only get our late payment charge when you get paid. So we deal with it as if it's our money and make sure that, we can recover the money as quickly as possible, because as we know, some clients will ring us and say, I need to pay lads on Friday. And you go, right, it's Tuesday tea time.
Yeah.
If we can sort it out. But again, that comes back to, the processes that you have about chasing it, because it doesn't then mean you're in this situation where you're almost at your wit's end and you go, I'll ring him now then. It's like, well, we'll try and help you, but I'd rather you ring me a couple of weeks before and we can try and talk through the best way forward to get it sorted out for you.
Definitely. Well, everyone's been a little bit shy. People have left comments, but they've not asked any questions. So if you're watching on replay afterwards, and if you have got any questions, Gary will pick them up and reply to you. But we're just coming up to half an hour now. So obviously, thanks so much for coming on this, Gary. But it's fair for you to tell people about your specific services and how you can help people through Expert Collections.
Yeah. Okay. So at Expert Collections, we offer a zero-cost debt recovery service. And I know a lot of people will go, zero cost? There's obviously a catch in that. Well, I'm from Yorkshire, so I'm a bit tight. So we're quite happy that other clients around the Yorkshire region don't have to spend their own money collecting back their own money. A lot of our competitors will charge 10 and 20% commission. So we're able to offer our zero-cost service by utilising late payment government legislation, which allows us to add on charges and interest to the debt set by the legislation. So if you're owed $5,000 and we collect the debt and the appropriate charges, you'll get your full $5,000 back. So it really is a no-brainer. It's a lot of people will consider, well, I don't know, and you'll ruin my relationship with the company. Well, sometimes it might have gone too far because you're in debt recovery. However, we also understand that from time to time, everybody has a genuine reason for non-payment, and you just need a little, cajoling along, shall we say. So we're not there to kill any relationships and, maintain the client and supplier relationship going forward, because At the end of the day, they might have had an issue. It's sorted out. We all move on, and that's really what we're here to help with. As many people that have got problems, but as Beth said, it does come down to, don't be shy about the fact that somebody owes you some money. I'd rather you ring me and I can tell you what you need to do and you get paid without it coming to formal recovery procedure. That's great. We can make sure. But please, if you have got any problems or any issues, then, give me a call or, email or visit the website. I mean, I'd like to give all details out, Beth.
And I can certainly recommend you as well, because I've used you for many of my clients.
Yeah.
We use a lot of construction companies notorious in not paying. So yeah, and I know that you've had 100% success rate in getting my clients stuff in. But we're rabbiting on now. That's it for now, unless you've got anything else to say, Gary.
No, just thanks for the opportunity. And if people are owed money and you're thinking, what the hell do I need to do? Just get in contact with me. Can I give you my email address out? Is that allowed? You're going to allow me that?
Of course you can, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So my email address is gary@expertcollections.co.uk. Website address, www.expertcollections.co.uk. All the contact details are on there. There's even something for free on there as well if you download it, a free ebook telling you how to overcome problems of making sure you get paid every time.
Oh, brilliant.
So
that's good.
Click the link and you can have that for free.
Perfect. Right. Thanks so much, Gary. I'm going to do something a bit jazzy now at the end. If it cocks up a bit, I'm sorry. It's the first time I'm going to do it. But have a good day, everybody. And I hope that's been of value to you. And if we can help in any way, myself as an accountant, Gary is a credit. I didn't want to actually say.
Commercial debt recovery.
There you go, commercial debt recovery. He's got the posh way of saying it. Yeah. Then please feel free to contact us. See you soon. Take care. Bye.
Cheers. Thank you.